Hello everyone, let us look at today's Leetcode problem 2894 divisible and non-divisible sum difference. Before starting this problem, let us look at a motivational quote for today. The expert is in anything was once a beginner. Helen Hayes. No one is born with mastery. Every expert, whether doctor, engineer, athlete or anyone, always started from the zero, and just like any of us, they made mistakes, asked questions, struggled and learned over time, and they always worked on continuing it. If you are struggling with a subject right now, it doesn't mean you are bad at it. Every top student, coder or anybody was also the same. So it is always important to keep working hard and keep growing. So let us look at the problem statement. You are given positive integers n and m. Define two integers as follows. Nums1, the sum of all integers in the range 1 to n, both inclusive, that is the lower and the upper bound also inclusive, that are not divisible by m. Nums2, all the integers within the range 1 to n that are divisible by m. So in this particular example, this would be the array, and m is the number which we should check divisibility of each element in this array. And we see that the numbers that are divisible by 3, which needs to be stored in nums2, would be 3, 6 and 9, and the rest of the numbers which excluding these will be stored in nums1, and they are as follows. And we might need to return nums1 minus nums2. Nums1 are the numbers that are not divisible, and nums2 are the numbers that are divisible by m. So the difference of them is as follows, and that's the output. Let us look at these two examples which give us some information on the boundary cases where a divisible m, which needs to be checked for divisibility with this number, is within the range 1 to 6, and 6 is outside this range. So we will have to return nums2 as 0 and nums1 as 15, which is sum of numbers from 1 to 5, right? Similarly here, if we see 1, which divides all of the numbers within the range 1 to 5, so the nums1 will be empty array and nums2 will be 1 to 5, and that's the same thing that we see here, and we will be having an output minus 15. Okay, so we can obviously come up with a brute force approach where we can have a for loop running from 1 to n, and if I is divisible by m, then we add it to nums2, else we add it with nums1, and at the end we return nums1 minus nums2. So if we see, this would be time complexity of this approach would be O of n, and space complexity would be 1. But we can have a optimized approach using simple mathematics. So we know that sum of n integers ranging from 1 to n will be n into n plus 1 by 2. So if we need to understand this piece of formula, then let us take a look at one example which is from 1 2 3 4. So in case of our example one, we had been given with m is equals to 10 and 3, which was our example one as we have it here. And if we need to calculate the sum of all numbers ranging from 1 to 10, then we might. So let's see how this formula gets derived. This formula right here. So if we consider these pairs of numbers, so adding these set of pairs, and let me color them differently. So if we consider any of these pairs, so it is of type n plus 1 or n plus 1. So n is 10, and any number, any pair that we are taking here is 10 plus 1, which is 11, and there are n by 2 such pairs. N by 2 such pairs here is 10 by 2, which would be 5, and 5 into 11 is our sum. So that's the output. So if we add it up manually also, it comes to 55. So that's the sum. And knowing this, we can also solve the sum of divisible pair, which is nums1 is not divisible by m, while num2 is the ones that are divisible by m, right? So if we look closely with our example 1, where we had n is equals to 10 and m is equals to 3, nums2 was something like this, and 3, 6 and 9, and this was nums2, and nums1 was this way. So if we see, the missing elements here are being put here, right? So if we can calculate sum through the formula n into n plus 1 by 2, and we can also calculate nums2. If we see nums2 length would be of n by m. That is, let's say we had a number 10 and this is 3. So this would give us 3 numbers in the nums2. So considering these, and if we look at each value in this nums2, it is of m into 1 and m into 2, m into 3. So again, if we say m into 1, 2 or 3, or let's say k here, k is equals to n by m, which is 10 by 3 in our case, 10 by 3, which gives us 3 as we see here. So this again comes to m into k by 2 plus into k plus 1. So we can calculate nums2 value something like this, where m into k by 2 into k plus 1, where k is equals to count of divisible items in nums2. Okay, so considering the this value, we can also calculate nums1, uh, which would be of type sum minus nums2, right? So understanding this formula, we can build our solution, and let's go to our Leetcode editor and quickly try solving this problem. This would give us the part of nums2 which are divisible by m. So now let's say we want to calculate non-divisible sum, which would be equal to total sum and our output should be non-divisible sum minus the divisible sum. So yeah, let's try submitting the solution. Okay, as you can see, the solution gets submitted. The time and space complexity of this solution is 1, as we are not having to store any additional memory or any for loops or iterative statements to loop over the n values. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.